and a wonderful science fiction story about elves, because we can bend genders like that.
The domestic terrorist organization, i.e. North Everett Precinct, and every one of the men and women in Unit 207 that haven't yet been detained and arraigned, got impatient, Nerd Squad, and criminally and illegally shut off the internet to require me to log back into the internet without entering any credentials, only on this laptop to attempt to hack this live stream pursuant to my following your instructions as usual. So it's 1:15 p.m. PST. Be advised, Nerd Squad. Also be advised, you're all going to prison. Make sure you smile and wave at the FBI when you leave.
From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future. Adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000, maybe worlds.
So it is 1:16 p.m. This is a consensual recording of Mystic Wind pursuant to the Federal Bureau of Investigation's instructions. I'm not an employee of the FBI, but I've been authorized to state I'm an informant since the last week of June, when the FBI wanted to see whether or not you imbeciles were going to make the segue from aggravated criminal conspiracy and a bunch of soon-to-be convicted stalkers, child abusers, kidnappers, fraudsters, thieves, and public disgraces to domestic terrorist.
Girl.
And that's what you chose.
June.
Ring.
Wedding.
Home.
Money.
Baby.
Money.
Education.
Money.
Looks like they criminally and illegally shut off the internet in their impatient nerd squad about 20 minutes ago in their impatience.
The future. They know how important it is to plan for the future now with savings.
It's 1:17 p.m.
The
PST.
plans you make today will determine what kind of tomorrow you have. Are you a student? Are you a young married couple? Are you approaching the golden years? Whatever your age, whatever your situation, savings bonds can be a big help in making your tomorrow secure and happy. Plan wisely. Buy savings bonds regularly where you work or where you bank. They're a good investment. You're saving your money and you're earning more. Series E bonds pay 3% interest, compounded twice a year when the bonds are held to maturity. And savings bonds are as safe and sound as America itself. Once more, they're protected against loss or theft.
Hey, you use your Google Meta device again on this account, and guess what?
And now
You'll be in prison for a couple more decades than you would be otherwise. Just joking. All you're doing is adding to your sentences. Keep it up.
Emergency report, Central Colonial Service. Subject, Planet 7G63, Glade.
You're going to find
Reporting,
out just
Daniel
how
Merrill.
true
Special assignment for
the
biological
repeated
control.
warnings about your
Report
lack
consisting
of
standard
immunity
universal tapes and special
and
recording
your
equipment.
need to stop
Comment.
for 2
First
years
segment,
have
landing
been,
day
and I'm
+1,
looking
6
forward to
a.m.
the women.
Sidereal mean time. Voices on tape,
And the fat
myself,
guy, and the
Colonial
skinny guy.
Executive Shell Hafner, and Gavia, a female member of our crew. Tape commencing.
More than one fat guy, actually. Let's be real. I already know the exact number of police officers going to jail as of 3 days ago.
Oh yes, I will. I will. All right. Where are these people? Where are these people?
Over there, a few hundred feet beneath that tree.
Well, come on then.
You know, I'm going to have to note in the log that you cleared the planet for colonization as of last night.
I understand. I'm taping this now for my records. I take full responsibility for the safety of this planet.
All right. But wait until you see this. Here we are. Now, do you see there in the clearing beneath that tree?
My good Lord, they haven't a stitch of clothes on. None of them.
It's just what I told you.
Are they all right? They're not.
No. They're just asleep. You can see them breathing.
Look here, Hafner. Who gave them permission to sleep out here in the open?
Shh, don't wake them yet. I gave them permission, Marin. They've been cooped up in that ship for over 6 months. They wanted to sleep outside. And in view of your clearance, I couldn't see any reason to refuse permission.
I know. You were within your rights, but the clothing, why they don't even have blankets.
They did have when they bedded down last night. Some of them even used the standard issue sleeping bags.
Well, then what happened to them? There are 13 people sleeping around that tree, and they're stark naked, all of them.
Last night you told me there was nothing dangerous on Glade. Do you still think so?
I know so, and I had the complete biological survey.
Does your survey account for anything like this?
You know it doesn't.
That's what I thought. Okay, now you've seen it for yourself. Let's wake them up and get them back to the ship.
No, wait. We better wake them one at a time. This will be embarrassing enough for them as it is.
Yes, I suppose you're right. Well, we'll wake the nearest one first. That's Gavia, our lab technician.
Yes, well, here, take my jacket. Cover her with it before you wake her.
All right. Wake up, Gavia. All right, Gavia, wake up. It's Executive Hafner.
Oh, what? Oh, what is it?
I'm sorry, Gavia. Something has happened.
Oh, my clothes. My blanket. Everything's gone.
Now, be careful. Don't wake the others.
Oh, yes, the others. What? Good heavens, they're all that way.
Gavia, just go back to your cabin on the ship. Everything is all right. We'll explain it to you when we have the others safely back.
Well, I feel so foolish. How could this happen? What's the meaning of this?
Now, just get back to the ship. Your clothes back there are perfectly safe.
Yes, all right. Well, thank you.
You told her we'd explain it later, Hafner. Do you think we can?
That's your job, isn't it?
This planet is as new to me as it is to you.
You're the biologist. What destroyed their clothing?
It would have to be something that could destroy both blankets and clothing without waking the people.
Nocturnal insects?
Ordinarily, I'd say that was a distinct possibility if it weren't for the fact that our surveys show no evidence whatsoever of any such insects on Glade.
Your survey could have missed them, couldn't it?
Not if they existed in any great quantity. Besides, if insects were the answer, there should be some kind of evidence of them right here in the area where Gavia was lying. Certainly one or two of them would be crushed when she rolled over in her sleep.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
Now look for yourself. There's absolutely no sign of anything at all here.
Well, what about some chemical, some vapor oozing from the ground?
No chance at all. I'd rule that out completely.
Then what?
Well, there's that tree itself. I suppose it could exude some sort of chemical that might dissolve cloth, but I can check that in the lab.
You'd better wake the rest of these people and get them back to the ship.
Wait.
What? What is it?
Why, it's some kind of animal.
Huh?
Just caught a glimpse there, through there. Aha, there he is. Yes, see? Behind that bush.
Yeah, looks almost like a chipmunk.
Yes, and he's feeding on something. Why, it looks like a piece of cloth.
Mirren, do you think that...
Shh. He doesn't hear us. We'll just ease up to him now. Closer. Now!
You got him!
Oh, why, you little... ouch! Will you little...
Watch out, Mirren. He's got sharp teeth.
Ouch! You're telling me. Now, easy there, little boy. Take it easy, fella. Oh, like to have your head stroked, do you? Ah, sure you do. Now, that's a good boy.
He's calming down.
Yes, look at that. He's nestling in the crook of my arm. Almost like a kitten.
Almost, Mirren. I hope you don't mind short sleeves.
What do you mean?
He's already eaten half the sleeve off your shirt. I think we found the answer to our problem.
The animal was a small furry mammal resembling an Earth-type rodent. Its overall length is 14 centimeters, weight 512 grams. Fur stringy and sparse. Color a light beige, indicating no particular protective coloring. The animal was placed in a special cage in a biological laboratory aboard ship for further study. Next date, landing date +2.
Could we exterminate it?
It's quite a job.
How about locally?
Hardly. It's ecologically basic.
Look, Mirren, you're from biological control. I've just got an executive's rating.
Well, look, you know how control works. They send a survey ship over and record the neural contents of the animals. They get everything that has a brain, including insects. And they take a few specimens to check the patterns. Now here's the report on Glade. The survey shows that this animal is only one of 4 species of mammals on the planet. It is also the most numerous.
So if we kill them off here, the others will swarm in from other areas.
Yes, that's about it. Well, there's probably millions of them around this planet. Of course, if you want to put a barrier across the connection to the mainland, you might be able to wipe them out locally.
Look, Mirren, I've got a tight schedule. I can't spare dirt moving equipment for that. By the way, what do they eat?
Well, as far as I can see, anything. Insects, fruit, berries. You could call it an omnivore. Now that our clothing is handy, it eats that too.
I thought our clothing was supposed to be vermin-proof.
It is, on 27 planets. On the 28th, we met up with a little fellow that has better digestive fluids, that's all. Hey, he's eating a leather belt right now.
Yeah. Are they likely to bother the crops we plant?
They shouldn't, but then I wouldn't have said the same thing about our clothing.
All right, Mirren, you worry about the crops. Find some way to keep them out of the fields. Meanwhile, everyone sleeps inside the ship until we can build the dormitories.
Biological examination of omnivore posed this question. Why only 4 species of mammals on Glade? No reptiles and only a few birds. On all comparable planets, a large variety of specimens. Nearest Earth parallel, fossil remains from the late Carboniferous show creatures like the omnivore, but on Glade there appears to be no further evolution. Next tape segment, L+22. Place, temporary warehouse, Quartermaster Crone and myself.
Well, there you are, Mr. Barron. They got in every seed sack and barrel in this part of the warehouse.
Well, what makes you think it's mice?
Look, I worked in grain elevators for 30 years in Kansas. Look at the way the sack is gnawed, and over there's the droppings.
Well, it's not exactly...
I know, so they're mice-like. I just want to know how to get rid of them.
Have you tried poison?
You tell me what poison to use, and I'll use it. I got a 100-pound sack of arsenic over there, and they went through that like it was whipped cream.
Well, how did they get in? It's a fused dirt floor, isn't it?
It should be pest type, but see? Over here. There's cracks along here. They must have burrowed through. And they're loose in here, and we don't have enough time to build another warehouse. They've got to be controlled here.
Well, I'll catch a few of them alive, and I'll see what I can do. Next morning, a dozen live specimens of mice-like mammals were delivered to the lab. No 2 of them were affected by the same poison, and the poison developed to control the omnivore was completely ineffective. Alternate discussed with Executive Hafner and Machinist Linnea of Computer Engineering. Next tape, L+24. Hafner, Linnea, and myself.
I tried it out yesterday, Mr. Hafner. I think I've got all the bugs licked now.
Linnea, I don't want any more metal used than is necessary. This isn't standard authorized equipment.
You're not dealing with a standard authorized problem.
Are you ready to activate the device?
Sure thing. Here, help me get it down from the assembly bench, down to the floor.
All right.
There you go, Kitty. Now, what do you think of her? A robot cat.
Well, I still think we need at least 3 of them.
Mr. Marin, inventory on colonial expeditions is always short. 1 will have to do. All right, Linnea, show us how this mechanical mouse catcher operates.
You better get out of the way, Mr. Murn. If you touch any mice in the lab, she'll go for you. She reacts to smell as well as sight and sound.
All right, Linnea, start it up.
All right, Kitty, go ahead and have a good time.
Well, she moves like a cat.
You know, I wouldn't bet a plugged nickel on any mouse in the same warehouse with that baby.
Robot cat device proved relatively successful in Warehouse 1. Rodent damage held below danger margin. Next tape, L+37. Linnea, Hafner, and myself.
I can't salvage it, Mr. Hafner. Just look at that. The skeleton was chrome steel, and now it's bent. The skin was duraplastic, and now it's cut to ribbons. The computer parts are all smashed to bits.
How do you account for it, Linnea?
Well, look at the poor thing. You had me build it for mice. These things weren't mice. They're a good foot long. They just outnumbered him, that's all.
You examined these dead animals, Marin?
Not closely.
Well, you'll find your mice have grown. They ganged up on that cat.
There aren't supposed to be any rats on the Glade, are there?
Well, there aren't supposed to be any mice here either. What are you going to do?
We'll have to build another warehouse. 2-foot thick fused walls.
Wait a minute, Mrs. Hafner. To do that, we'll have to stop all other construction, the automatic generation.
Why not build more robot cats?
You weren't here when we opened the doors, Marin. The warehouse was swarming with rats. Linnea, how many robot cats would we need? 5? 15?
We don't have enough parts to build more than 3.
If we need more than that, we'll have to rob the computer in the spaceship, and that's one thing I refuse to do. The spaceship is our only link with Earth until the next wave in 2 years. All right, then, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll floodlight the supplies at night. We'll post a guard with half-charged rifles until we can move to the new warehouse. That'll take about 10 days. Meanwhile, our fast crops are ripening. It's my guess that the rats will turn to that for food. Now, in order to protect our future food supplies, you'll have to activate your cold storage animals, Marin.
Mr. Hafner, it is against regulations to release any cold storage animals on a planet until after a complete investigation.
That takes 10 to 20 years. This is an emergency.
I don't want to be responsible for another rabbit-infested Australia, or that planet in the Centauri system that the snails took over.
Marin, I'll take the responsibility. You're recording now, aren't you?
Yes.
All right. If that isn't authorization enough, I'll put it in writing.
Well, the beasts I've got for this job won't be any good against rats this size.
You've got hormones, use them.
Maybe you missed it, you stupid fucks, but a live stream will be running when you're handcuffed. Okay? So the
Dead rats were
problem that you're
gathered and
having
frozen for
isn't
further
really
study.
a problem.
Observed
It's
animals of wide variation in
you
size.
providing evidence
Internally, a
for
lack of
value
uniformity in
your
organs.
intent to be
Some
a
specimens had
domestic
huge
terrorist
fangs and
because
delicate
of a few
jaws.
vaginas
Others had tiny
upstairs
teeth
that
and massive
still
bone
believe
structure.
they're gonna
Obviously, the
avoid
most
prison
scrambled species ever
by
encountered by a
getting you to join
biologist.
them there.
Reproductive cells were especially baffling. Proceeding with hormone treatment on cold storage earth animals. Next tape, L+39, lab technician Gavia and myself.
First one is coming out of it, Mr. Marin.
Yes, that makes 85% viability. It's not bad. Aha! All right, little fella. Now take it easy. Take it easy.
Oh, he's a cute little fella.
But he's tough. That's a wire-haired terrier. They're small, but they've been used for ratters since the Middle Ages.
Do you think he's nearly ready for the hormone course?
I think so. All right, first pituitary injection.
Ready. All right, now, this is going to hurt just a little, fella.
Oh, yes, sorry. Dirty trick, isn't it, jabbing you with a needle while you're fresh out of that deep freeze? Don't you worry, fella. You'll be glad you had it. You'll stand a better chance against those rats when you work up to about a Great Dane size. L+50. Artificially enlarged terriers loosed in the fields of the fast crops. Following tape, field observation of terriers. Executive Hafner and myself.
How long have they been at it, Marin?
Since daybreak. I have to bring the dogs in at night and shoot them full of antibiotics.
Will the dogs last?
Well, this crop will be harvested in about a week. We'll make that. And there'll be 2 weeks to rest up before the next fast crop shows above ground. I think we've got the rats licked for a while.
Well, when you get a chance, you might ask some of those PhDs in Central how they happened to hand us a survey and forgot to give us a few details like mice and rats.
I've been checking on that, Mr. Hafner. I don't think there's any doubt when that survey was made before we landed, there weren't any mice and rats on Glade.
Then where did they come from? How did they get here?
I don't know, but we're going to have to find out. Research project on pseudomice and pseudorats interrupted by field trip with Biological Survey Officer Whitehead. Tape L+63 in field. Geological Survey Vehicle. Whitehead and myself.
You think you got troubles? Can you read a sonar map?
No.
Here, look. See this scope? It reads straight down about 10 miles. I'm supposed to be out here looking for oil shale, but I got kind of interested in this. Look, first few feet down, you can find fossils. After the first few feet, that's about 20,000 years. There are no fossils until you get way down here. That's about the same as the late Carboniferous on Earth. Then you get to the fossils again. It doesn't figure.
But isn't that usual? Changes in geological eras?
You don't get it, man. I'm talking about eras. I'm talking about years. Straight down from here, 20,000 years ago, this was a desert. And then 3 years later, it was a jungle. 5 years after that, there was a glacier. Normal Earth would be 50,000 years or more for a change like that.
What caused it?
You got me. Fluctuations in the sun, I don't know. But talk about changeable weather, this planet really has it.
Based on accumulated data, theory developed regarding mammalian life on planet Glade. Tape L+65. Place, temporary headquarters of Executive Hafner.
Marin, I've got a lot of work to clear up this morning.
I thought you might like to know where the mice came from.
They don't bother us anymore.
I've also determined the origin of the rats.
They're under control.
I wonder if they are, Hafner.
What do you mean?
After I checked this with Whitehead, between 100 million years and 20,000 years ago, this planet was changing violently and quickly. The first change wiped out the dinosaur just the way it did on Earth, but it kept on changing. Desert, glacier, jungle, all within the lifespan of a single animal. For 1 million years, this was the norm of existence on Glade.
I've checked Geological Survey. This planet is stable now.
Well, that's not what I'm getting at. The point is, survival was difficult. Only one species of mammals managed to come through.
Now, wait a minute, Marin. There are 4 species, ranging in size from a squirrel to a water buffalo.
One species. They're all the same. The food supply for the largest animal increases. Some of the smaller so-called species just grow up. Conversely, if a food becomes scarce in any category, the next generation, which apparently can be produced almost instantly, switches to a form which does have an adequate food supply.
The mice?
The mice weren't here when we got here. They were born of a squirrel-sized omnivore.
And the rats?
Born of the next largest size. After all, we are environment too, and they adapt to environment.
Let me get this straight. The mutations...
On Earth, it would be mutation. Here, it's merely normal evolution. These animals have no genes or chromosomes. I don't know how they pass down heredity, but they react to external conditions far faster than anything we've ever encountered.
Then we'll never be free from pests, unless, of course, we rid the planet of all animal life.
Yeah, you mean with radioactive dust? That won't work. They've survived worse.
Well, maybe we could leave the planet, leave it to the animals. I could exercise authority under Clause 364.
It's too late for that.
What do you mean?
We sent back the specimen ship. The animals are on Earth, too.
But those specimens were in cages.
Yes, but the next generation would be small enough to get out through the bars. They'll be running free in the cargoes of the spaceships. They'll land on Earth, and the first thing you know, a new mutation of rats will appear. They won't have any reason to connect it with the specimens from Glade.
They won't be able to vermin-proof every building on Earth.
No, we've got to stay here. We've got to study the animals here and find out how to beat them, if we can. Next tape, L+83. Place, field outpost, Quartermaster Crone, Hafner, and myself.
I saw it, Miss Hafner. I saw it.
Are you sure?
There, over there. You see that tree? No, the big one.
The white flowers?
Yes, that one. I saw it behind there.
Can you describe it?
Well, I didn't get such a good look. That's it. That's what I heard.
Sounds like a tiger. I've heard them like that in India.
You watch right by that tree. Just look out. Look out.
Give me that fire.
Hurry up. Shoot.
Try again.
Oh, that got it.
Come on. Let's take a look.
Now look out. Might be still alive.
No, I hit it square with that second charge. What in the devil is it?
It's got to be 8 foot long.
What do you make of it, Marin?
Well, except for the lack of markings, it closely resembles a tiger.
Look at those claws.
We chase the rats out of the warehouse. They go to the fields. We hunt them down in the fields with dogs and they breed tigers.
Well, that's easier than rats. We can shoot tigers.
Wait a minute. We've been here less than 3 months, Marin. The dogs have been in the field only 2. And that tiger's mature. How do you account for that?
I'm not sure, Hafner, but I imagine if the survival factor is high, the young don't ever have to be young.
What?
They can be born as fully functioning adults. Development report. Mice under control. Field rats under control by terriers. Tiger-like animals under control with searchlight and rifle. Additional complication. The original animal developed an appetite for electrical insulation. There is no protection except to keep the power on at all times. The last tiger-like animal was seen at L+130. After that, the attacks ceased. By L+2 years, the animal seems to have been controlled in all its forms. However, 3 months before the next colonists were due, a new animal was detected. Food was missing from the fields. Dogs were useless. The animal seemed to roam the fields and the dogs did not attack. Patrols were unable to find the animal. Tape L+2 years, Hafner, Engineer Linnea, and myself.
Now, here's the way I'm rigging it up, Miss Hafner. Whatever it is, it spotted the photoelectric cell ray. So I've worked up an alarm that reacts to body radiation.
You sure the animal won't spot that?
Well, I'm burying it in the field. Then we'll move the visible alarms to another field.
All right, Linnea. As soon as the alarm goes off, notify Mr. Marin and me. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Just as soon as the alarm goes off.
L+15. Radiation alarm sounded. Place, field station, Hafner, and myself.
Look out where you're walking, Marin. We don't want to scare it away.
Well, there are dogs in that field, aren't there?
Well, there were supposed to be, but they didn't bark. Quiet.
There it is. See?
Huh?
It's in between the rows.
Look out. Give me a clear shot.
No, wait a minute. Don't shoot.
Look, Marin, I'm the executive here. I say it's dangerous.
Dangerous? That's why you can't shoot. It's more dangerous than you know.
Quiet, I'll hear you.
We're downwind. Now listen. Hafner, this is important.
I don't want any lecture now, Marin. I don't want to lose the shot.
You've got to listen. That animal could evolve mice. We stopped mice and it brought rats. We turned back the rat that provided the tiger.
All right, we stopped the tigers.
Not really. There was another animal being formed. The one that's in the field now. It took the animal 2 years to create it. How I don't know. 1 million years were required to evolve it on Earth.
He's moving away, Marin. I'm going to
Don't shoot. We can't destroy the animal. It's on the Earth now and on the other planets. We've never been able to get rid of our own rats. How can we exterminate this animal?
All the more reason to start now. Get down and give me a clear shot.
Listen. Are their rats better than ours? Will their beasts win and ours be stronger? Or will the two make peace, unite, and interbreed? It's not impossible. This animal could do it, if interbreeding had a high survival factor. Don't you see? After the tiger, they breed this thing. And if we shoot it down, what'll come next? Look at it. Standing erect, opposable thumbs, binocular vision, a large brain capacity. This one I think we can compete with. It's the one after this that I don't want to face.
Marin, it must hear us. It's looking this way.
Look at it, Hafner. He's holding his hands up to show us he's got no weapon. Drop your rifle.
Are you sure?
Drop your rifle. He's coming this way.
He's got one of those white blossoms in his hand.
Yes, must be a sign of peace.
Why, it looks almost like a man. I wonder what's inside that body.
I wonder what's inside that head.
You have just heard F.L. Wallace's Student Body, originally broadcast on X-1. Your cast included
Fabian? Diane Adams as Shell Hafner.
Steve Windles as Dan O'Marin.
Autumn Silvers as Linnea.
Cody Boyer as Officer Whitehead.
and Jeffrey Adams as Crone, the warehouse guy. Sound effects by Piran Irwin and Dave Irwin. It can be in the sound of the orchestra preparing, or in the sound of a sculptor working in stone, or even in the sound of laughter from inside a theater. It is the sound of art being created, and for over 3 decades, the sound of art being created has rung loud and clear in northeastern Minnesota. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council has been encouraging local arts development in northeastern Minnesota through grants and services for over 35 years. Every year, they give out more than $500,000 to local artists and arts organizations, and that helps create $40 million in revenue and jobs created. To find out more about our arts programs or how you can get involved, visit aracouncil.org. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council, where the arts flourish, you thrive.
Ladies,
it took years for him to accept me into the family, and then like,
And then when you did, you're like, bye.
Totally. By the time he was like, I love you. Like by the time he was like, you're the best thing that's ever happened to Chris.
You're
I
all
was like, gotcha. I was like, see ya.
Gotcha, bitch. Like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, this episode of Delusion is brought to you by Olipop. If you like to fuel your delusion on the daily, get yourself an Olipop, guys. It is the #1 drink of worsties.
It is drinkable Delulu, baby.
It is drinkable Delulu, but also not because like it tastes just like regular soda, or you're drinking peaches and cream. That's like my favorite.
It's so good.
That's my favorite, Barbie peaches and cream.
I have to say I was fully like overdosing on Olipop for a while. I had to cut back a little. I was having like 6 a day. And now I spilled it. I'll drink it up off the table. I fucking kill myself.
Just lick it off
Yeah.
the floor. You love it so much. Guys, lick your Olipop off the floor. Don't let a drop be wasted. Do you remember that song, that rap song, Peaches and Cream? You know,
Yes.
Dude, that takes me
This
back.
table couldn't have more shit on it that I
Oh
spilled.
my gosh,
so
I can't. And then
Thanks, Mike.
also, we have a new presenting sponsor.
We're so
which
excited.
I'm so excited about, called
True Fruit.
Fruit. Like
You
Motley
guys.
Crue. True Fruit with the umlauts. Am I saying that right?
True Fruit. Hyper dried, fresh, and dark chocolate. I have bananas. I just had some of the.
Can I try the banana?
Yeah, try some, girl.
Mine's raspberries, but chocolate covered raspberries. But I love bananas. I'm a banana girl. And look, this is chocolate covered. Oh my god.
This is going to be the pairing, the snack pairing of worsties. True
Guys,
Fruit
I'm sorry
and
if you have
Olipop.
misophonia because this is
Misophonia.
insania.
Insania.
Bro.
Just keep your mouth away from the mic when you're smacking.
You can have a quarter cup of this for 150 calories and only 18 carbs, and it's sold at Whole Foods. Okay, so also Olipop is sold at Whole Foods. So if you want to go get your fix, you're going to get True Fruit and Olipop at Whole Foods.
Don't forget to go to drinkolipop.com/Brit to get 15% off. We are back.
We are back.
They also come in frozen, but those had to go to my refrigerator, and they're a lot like ice cream. Thank you, everybody.
They're a lot like ice cream?
Yeah.
Yum.
Good alternative. Frozen cherries, frozen strawberries, frozen chocolate-covered strawberries.
Mike, I need some of those. You can't have all of those, Mike.
You have to come over, I guess.
Oh, boy.
Mike just trying to lure us to his apartment. It works.
Yeah.
Like, you have chocolate ice cream? Just typical girls.
Yeah.
There's ice cream in there? Okay. Sure, I'll come in.
Yeah.
There's some in my van.
Like a truck full of puppies. I'm like, puppies?
Okay.
I'll come in.
Okay.
Okay, guys, it's been a week. I am finally back in my fucking house.
Amen. Praise be.
Amen. And
Hallelujah.
when I got into my house, first thing we did before we got into the house was we went and bought the last air purifier at Best Buy. Literally, Target, everywhere was sold out. Ace Hardware, Home Depot. I went a million places. I go to Best Buy. They're like, we're sold out. I was like, this cannot be true. I was like, I will take the fucking sample off the floor.
Yeah.
And then shout out to this amazing worker at Best Buy, because 3 workers told me they were sold out, but I kept checking online and it said 1 available. Shout out to Axel Pineda. He went in the back and he fucking scoured until he found that shit.
Hell yeah,
He
Axel.
saved us.
A guy like Axel will save the day.
Hell yeah, Axel. Welcome to the jungle. Welcome to Best Buy. We got what you need. We got air purifiers. Get rid of that smoking street. We got that air that you want.
Welcome to the jungle.
Anyway,
I'm gonna watch some of you go to prison.
No, but he literally went in the back, he got it for me, and then I take it home and I plug it in, and it's like, red warning, leave the premises until air is controlled.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it was in the red everything, like, and we were like, oh fuck. So we put masks on, and then it took like 2 or 3 days until it's green.
Mm-hmm.
But it like does like it's a giant one. It does like the whole house. At least like our house had 1 floor. So now the air inside's clean. But they're saying we're not supposed to bathe in the water. We're not supposed to drink it. So it's been really tough.
Yeah.
I've been buying a resort pass and going down to the hotel, like a little bit away where the water, like there's a sign that says when you enter our area, like the water's hazardous.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you leave, like as long as you're outside of that area, you're good.
Yeah.
So I've been like buying a resort pass. I don't know if everybody knows about this. You can get a resort pass.
If you're wondering at present, how many FBI agents know exactly what you're doing?
They also like during the summer they let you rent cabanas and stuff.
The answer is about 3 times the amount of people in your domestic
I have
terrorist
no idea.
have
There's
them there.
so many hotels that like you want to hang out at, but you're like, oh, I don't have
You're
a
dumb as
room.
fuck.
And then I was just like, oh,
Resort Pass.
is the shit. And so what I do is I get the Resort Pass.
Resort Pass sponsor us.
Please sponsor us. And I get the Resort Pass. I just use the shower in their gym until they say it's good for us to shower. Yeah. So we're grateful. You're back. We're grateful. We're back. We're living our life the best that
Downward
we
spiral.
can.
There will be no leniency. Absolutely no immunity, regardless of your position or
I think you are. I was talking to this guy I was in Mexico with, and he got 2 nose jobs, and obviously the first one did not work out, but he said that regardless of whether or not it's
You guys
the
should
nose
pool
job
your
that you want it
money,
to be. It
pay
takes
for
6
one of
months
you to
a year.
volunteer to go to Indonesia,
Everyone keeps saying
have
that,
him fly there, try and go through customs, and then when he flies back and tells you about how a federal marshal met him at
Because they showed him
customs
a
and made
picture
him get
of
on
you,
a
like
plane
one that
back
you
to
were
the
sent, and you were
U.S.,
like, this is
then
like
you'll know what you already know.
Whatever. And he's like,
that you're going
she's
to
only
prison.
been out for 2 weeks. That looks fucking
That everything you've been doing has been 100% illegal. And using a fraudulent claim of a legitimate operation to perpetrate over 250 separate crimes
It's not like
without immunity.
Yeah.
I can't see
Targeting
directly
me
into
and
your
my disabled sons.
Bro, that was the
staring me right in the eyes.
It's like,
Four eyes.
Dude,
I'm
I
like,
had
don't know
2 set
what
of
you're
eyes.
doing.
I like put contacts on my nostrils too so they can see.
Yeah, like little snake eyes.
Dude, it was so crazy. And that's the weird thing too, is that everyone's always like, oh, you've had a boob job. Oh, you've had all this plastic surgery. I'm like, no, like this was really scary for me. Like I haven't had plastic surgery. So this was like, I've done the Botox, I've done filler. This is a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah.
Like I am traumatized.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how like people get multiple surgeries. Like I'm this is not for the faint of heart.
No.
Because the process is like, you know, fuck, it's a long process. It's not a quick process. So trying to give myself grace and trying to ask people to be kind because people have not been kind. And, you know, you don't have to be kind, but it'd be nice if you were.
Yeah, but don't count on that.
But I won't count on it.
Yeah,
So yeah,
don't count
never
on that.
mind. So that's
Also, you know, you can just stop. You don't have to post. People are
yeah,
being mean, you
I'm
can
not
stop
posting on
posting.
Instagram,
I know,
but I
just
do
stop.
my Snapchat because I like get paid.
I know.
And it's like that's like an extra couple grand a month. So I'm like, don't want to like lose that. You know what I mean? I guess I could just not post my face.
But you don't need it.
I mean, I don't need it, but you know, it's helpful.
I know.
You
No, I know.
Pro
I'm just
tip,
saying,
though,
if
dude,
it's
I'll
like if
help
the
you out.
emotional
toll.
Every time you shut off
greater
the
than
internet to
Yeah.
try and do what you're
like,
doing,
you know, there's a
You
certain
make the
amount of
FBI
money that
very
like it's not. It would be worth it if somebody is like saying horrible shit. It's like if it's like $100,000, you can say whatever you want. But if it's like $2,000. It's like I don't want to get my feelings hurt.
or to put it another way, you're
That's
showing
true.
off your
That's
coordination
That's true. I guess it's
in
just
your
really
domestic
hard, like,
terrorist
I
organization.
don't know. I'm like I try to stay pretty independent. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
I know.
like,
I know. And I'm not saying quit, but I'm just saying you can take a break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could
You sold your house. You made, you know.
pull off from it, but
You did?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I put more into it than I ended up making.
Okay, well, never mind. You're gonna have to stay on Snapchat.
You're like keep snapping.
Keep snapping.
That was like a big. It was like a $100,000 loss.
Well,
Yeah.
okay,
So
never
anyway,
mind.
I'm not going to be the next house flipper. That's
Hang
for
on,
sure. I'm not going to
literally.
be on flip or flop. I'll just be on flop and flop. Hey, you want to put way too much money into a house and then sell it and not make it back? Welcome to Flop and Flop with Brittany Brown, your host. Anyway, whatever.
Drop and flop, baby.
Drop and flop.
Factor's back. Guess who's back? Back again. Factor's back. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Share our code.
Yeah, share our code. Factor is my favorite. I will say when the LA fires were blazing, I got a knock on my door and it was my Factor deliveries. And I was like, I guess I'm going to live to see another day.
Wow. Yeah, you do hit every time I hit you up, you're like, I'm just making a little Factor
Just
meal.
little
Yeah,
Factor meals.
You're really on it.
You guys, if you're ready to optimize your nutrition for this year, Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well very easy. They are dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes so you can fuel right and feel great no matter what life throws at you.
Wow, guys. And what I literally love. Sorry, guys. Wow, guys. I was on another planet. Welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. I wasn't here for 5 minutes. Anyway, yeah, Factor does come fresh, which is really great, never frozen. So you just pop it in your fridge, and when you're ready to eat it, you heat it up. You can lose up to 8 pounds in 8 weeks with Factor's keto meals if you're on that keto sensation going on. With 40 different options across 8 dietary preferences. There's a new menu to choose from every week so that you don't get bored. They have Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, Chef's Choice, all kinds of things. Factor can help you feel your best all day long. They also have wholesome smoothies, breakfast, and grab-and-go snacks with more add-ons. If you are interested in reaching your goal for the year with fresh ingredients that you can trust, head to Factor, that's FACTOR meals.com/Brits, BRITTS 5050 off and use the code BRITS, BRITTS 50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. Again, that's code BRITS 50 off at factoredmeals.com/Brits50 off to get 50% off
plus free shipping on your first box.
Enjoy. These are so good. Fuck. Okay. What's happening with you? What's your worst?
Oh my gosh. I have
You have
two.
yeah.
I have two really gnarly worsts. So I went to Mexico, which was, it was good. It was fun. it was like the weather was nice. It was like nice to unplug and just kind of get away.
Yeah.
But right when I got to Mexico, when I got to the house that I was at, I opened my suitcase and I saw that like a bunch of shit had been stolen out of it, which has only ever happened to me one time before when I was coming back from Mexico.
It's always Mexico. Not,
It's
no
always
offense. Like, I
Mexico.
love Mexico.
No, it's not.
I love the people, but
it's not it's just very like classic. Like this shit happens every time, like not every time, but often when I go to Mexico, shady shit happens. And it's like they stole like very valuable stuff. And it's just like such an invasion of privacy to like have someone open your shit and steal from you. Like when I'm on vacation, one of the things was a gift for the girl whose birthday it was.
I know. That's and then you're like, hi, like I
yeah,
had a gift.
I was like, sorry, I came with a present, but they stole it literally the second I landed. And then the airline, I flew Alaskan Airline, and they're like, well, you need a police report in order for us to give you insurance. And even the insurance is only up to $2,500, which is not, more than that was stolen.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I planned like into my departure day that I would go to the airport because they told me like, go to the airport. There's a police station there that can do the police report for you. Go to the airport, can't find a police station, and ask information. They're like, there's nothing here. Like
Really?
you have to, they're like, you have to go into town.
They said there was one in there, and then there wasn't.
So the airline said there was one, and then when I got there was not one.
I learned this lesson the hard way a long time ago in Mexico too.
Yeah.
I had a Louis Vuitton luggage, and we got off the plane in Mexico, and it was
of course.
And then, but I did get it back.
That's nice.
We like tipped some people, and they fucking got it for us.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be that lucky. I'm not gonna get anything back. And
you didn't get to know. I mean, I feel like even if you did file a police report, good luck.
Well, no, the police report. The point of the police report was not that I ever thought I was going to see those things again. I know that those things are already being sold. The point of the police report was so that I could get the insurance from the airline. But now I can't get anything because I don't. They mandate. They mandate a police report in order to give you any insurance money.
Damn.
So, so that was a bummer. And then when I was on my way back to the airport to leave, I saw the most horrendous car accident I have ever seen in my life. Like, a bus hit a semi.
Like how?
Okay, so imagine a bus was 4 quadrants. Okay. Like if we cut it in 4, the semi trailer was a whole quadrant on the front of the bus. Like the bus cut in half. Yeah. The bus was cut in half, and the semi trailer was 1 quadrant of the bus. There were maybe 20 ambulances and dead bodies all over the road.
You literally saw their faces.
Yes. And so they put like tarps over the bodies, but it was really windy and there was so many of them that they just put like one giant one and it was like blowing like up, like when you're in gym class.
Parachute thing and you all go under it.
Yes. It was like that. But just
there were like 20 bodies.
No. God no. I saw 3. But there were like between what certainly were dead people, like on stretchers, covered already, and then people and I had never in my life seen a dead body before.
Oh, you haven't?
Not where I'm not supposed to see one. Like
like in an accident.
Tragedy. Yeah.
Were they fucked up looking, like bleeding and shit?
I didn't see. I just saw them like splayed out. Like they got
like their legs.
Like because they got thrown out of this bus.
Oh, I hate that.
And then the whole thing was just so upsetting, and then it really gave me a necessary perspective shift. Because I have been so I get into these little loops of suicidal ideation. I'll just say it. Like I think about it and I think I don't want to be here. This is horrible. I hate this. And then like when I saw all of those people, I was just like, but like they wanted to be here, you know, like it just made me like so. It was like it just made me so sad. It made me really realize how lucky I am, but also selfish the thought of not wanting to be here is. And you know, I don't know any of these people's stories. I don't know them personally. I don't know anything about them, but like I know that they didn't think today was or yesterday was going to be their last day.
That's the crazy
You know,
part.
it seemed like it was a bunch of like resort spots being like workers. That's what it seemed like it was a bus of because they were all in like uniforms.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, I don't know. It really like fucked me up in a way that I was like, I need to be more grateful. I need to like be more present. I need to.
Note squad, they're
really
once
work
again
on
having me type somewhere that I shouldn't be typing in order to tamper with the document. They've just saved it as the draft with their tampering, preventing it from going in the appropriate place to attempt to make the document even more ineligible, illegible. It's a man upstairs that was guilty of that one just now, Note squad. Again, attempting to avoid that 8 a.m. deadline. Obstructing the federal investigation
Oh, did you go to your house and get these? Oh my God.
via your domestic terrorist organization.
What's that one?
That's all you're doing.
Pina colada. Ooh, if you like pina
Same thing at
coladas.
2:01 p.m.
Yeah, Mike's like, she's crying. Let's go get her ice cream. True.
Mike knows what girls want.
Yeah, Mike's got it figured out. So anyway, all that to say, it was
Same thing, Nerd Squad. They're selecting random parts of my conversation here and the document,
you know, it's just
preventing even and now they've just magically completely erased the whole document per female felon's instructions upstairs. Now a male is preventing it from loading.
Yeah.
Now I'm clicking on it. It's likely been tampered with
It was
further
very confronting. It was.
at 7:54 a.m.
I don't know. It was like supposed to be this nice like getaway trip, you know, where I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go relax before I like go back on the road and go on tour. Which, by the way, worsties, I'm on tour. I'm gonna start touring again. So February 15th, I'm doing Vancouver.
Again, Nerd Squad, preventing me from typing. It is 7:55 a.m. This will count as an extra count of obstruction for your domestic terrorist organization if this is unable to be sent by 8 a.m.
And then
So keep that same energy upstairs.
And
What a vacation.
I was just like, yeah, it was just like bookended with horror. Like it just was. Oh yeah,
Keep
where else
that
am I?
same energy.
Fontana, California, March 15th. San Diego, March 21st, and Timonium, Maryland, March 30th. Listen, that's when you know you made it, when you're in Timonium, Maryland at Magooby's Joke House. Magooby's Joke House. Anyway.
Now they're preventing me from selecting anything to cut and paste. Okay. Now it appears perhaps they are going to allow me to cut and paste.
For the rest of the day, I was just like in shock.
Of course.
They're preventing me from editing anything, Nerd Squad.
I even got home last night. When I
As a
did my,
further
like,
act
prayers
of
before
domestic
bed, I
terrorism.
prayed for all of those people and their families, and I just was like,
Yeah, I said as a further act because it is a further act of domestic terrorism.
Being reminded of our own mortality.
And they're just delaying the time in order to miss that 8 a.m. deadline. But I'll tell you guys a secret.
Some people are not as affected by it.
You having a bad week was not contingent on this report. This report,
I just think that
this new addendum,
that's what every day I'm always so thankful. Like before I eat dinner,
is only necessary because of your criminal conduct today and yesterday and the day after that.
Be here and like get pet by my dog, like pet my dogs.
Once again, same thing, Nerd Squad. They can't figure out what they're doing, so they criminally and illegally close the whole document. Again, fighting time, 7:56 a.m.
I had no idea, and that's why like gratitude is so important. But I also don't want you to feel guilty about having depression because that's
no, it's not. I don't feel guilty about having depression. I know that my brain is just wired, predisposed to that. What I feel not even guilty about, it's selfish for having the thoughts of like, I don't want to be here. Fuck this. I hate this. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I look at my life and I'm like, if I can't be happy, who can be? You know, like, I'm just like, I have everything. Like, I'm so blessed. I have an amazing dad. I have great friends. I have the coolest job in the world. We have this, like, everything's amazing. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, but if there's an off switch, I'd hit it. You know, like, that's like, so that's just something I need to work on. I was actually talking to my chiropractor today about this. He's like, how's your brain? And I was like, it's bad. It's always fucking bad. Like, I don't, what do you think is going to change? He's like, scientifically, he's like, we can fix this, you know? He's like, we have to be able to fix this.
What is his idea of it?
So he wants me to get this omega-3 test because he's saying that, like, your brain's balance basically is all based on omega-3s. And he's like, you might have, like, a shortage. And he's like, it affects the hippocampus, which stores memory and all that stuff. He's like, so if that area is affected, he's like, I think that, like, you know, and there's other things like lithium that he's prescribed me for depression.
Like prescription lithium?
No, over the counter.
Oh, okay. Because lithium's like a hardcore drug for like bipolar disorder.
Yeah, no, but you can get it over the counter, I think.
Oh.
Or maybe it's not lithium. No, I think it's lithium. Can you Google, can you get lithium over the counter?
I also have some suggestions if you like want to hear before, like, because I was the exact same way before I got on an antidepressant.
Yeah, so 5 to 20 milligrams
carbonate
of lithium can be purchased over the counter as a nutritional supplement. So that's what I...
Did you start taking it?
Yeah, it's in my daily supplements.
Okay, because sometimes the only thing I would say is, like, before I got on antidepressants, I did SAMe. Have you heard of SAMe? You can get SAMe over the counter at the grocery store. That really helped me, but not to the degree that I needed help because I have a really bad brain.
Yeah.
But SAMe did lift me up a little bit.
Mhm.
You can't take it, obviously, if you're on an antidepressant, so I can't take it anymore. But you might want to try that because a lot of people find success with that. Also, people that aren't on antidepressants find that saffron is also really helpful. Saffron is like nature's Prozac. And
okay, I'll get saffron.
So there's like stuff you can try.
I'm open to everything.
Yeah,
and then
you don't
like,
want to be on an antidepressant because then you're going to get, you know. Well, if you want to ever try one, I would suggest trying one like a Prozac or a Lexapro that if you ever want to get off of it, you can.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I've done antidepressants.
Yeah, so you know.
Okay,
But
so
I will say my mind changed my life, you know, more in good ways than bad. Like I said, I'll be stuck on it for the rest of my life. But I don't have the really, really low thoughts unless like it's circumstantial, right? Unless something really bad happens, then I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be here. But that's understandable. That's a normal. But most of the time, I'm like pretty much in gratitude, you know?
Yeah.
And
oh my god, it was so funny. When we were at dinner. So I'm at dinner with Whitney and all of her friends who I don't know that well, you know. So I'm like trying to.
This is in Mexico.
In Mexico, I'm trying to make small talk to the guy sitting next to me, and I was like, "Do you like popcorn shrimp?" And he was like,
"What? Autism."
Totally.
Do you like shrimp? What do you think of trains? Do you like trains? Do you want to see a picture of my dog?
I was like, "Do you like popcorn shrimp?" He was like, "Yeah, I guess." And then my next question, I was like, "If you had to kill yourself, how would you do it?" And he was like, "What the fuck?"
He's like, "Whitney, can I sit over there? Whitney, who the fuck did you invite? Is she part of the group? I don't even know. Did she just come from the bar? Like, are you fucking kidding me, Brittany? Was this to that gay guy that you ended up being friends with?
Yes.
Oh my god, thank God he's a gay. Because he understands. He's like, oh girl, you're delusional. He's like, we love a delusional baddie.
His response to me, he's like, I never thought of it. He's like, I have never thought about killing myself. And I was like, what? He's like, I've thought about how to kill other people.
Yeah, he's normal.
I was like, what is that like? I wonder.
Brittany, do you like popcorn shrimp?
Do you like popcorn shrimp?
Would you hang yourself or would you rather be eaten by a shark? You're just on Love on the Spectrum next season. I see you on there. Brittany. Dude, did you see the Elon Musk thing, speaking of autism?
The Hitler Heil?
Yeah, but you guys didn't see the whole video. They like cut it off. He was saying, my heart goes out to you.
Oh.
The whole video is him saying, my heart goes out to you. But he's so, like, he has autism. And he's been, like, admitted he has autism, you know? So he did this. And people are like, oh, my God. But then the whole video, I'll put the video in there. I'll send it to you guys. So it's, like, it's funny how people always try to, like, misconstrue people. And, like, I mean, everyone's
I really
like,
hate political internet, I'll be honest.
Yeah. And then I have to say, I know everyone hates when I, like, say nice things about Elon Musk. Everyone hates that for some reason. Well, they all hate Elon Musk, but I will say this. When we got up to our house,
Elon Musk was there.
He was there and he saved us. He was holding our koi. He was giving mouth-to-mouth CPR of our koi fish. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
No, but he actually created this thing called Starlink. And it's literally so genius. You can get internet fucking anywhere because it goes from the satellites in the sky. So all you have to do is take this satellite dish, you put it on your roof, and it connects from the satellites he has in space. And we live in the canyons, so we have no internet, right? And when we went up to our house, we had obviously nothing, and like everyone's concerned about us and like, hello, are you okay? Whatever, right? And so I was like, Tommy was like, go get a Starlink. And so I ran and got one. Took like no time to set up. Boom, internet and Wi-Fi and everything. Like
when I was messaging you, it said this person's connected by a satellite.
Yeah. He really hooked it up because like so many people were worried about us and like trying to get in touch with us and then we had firemen on our street that were like struggling because they like didn't have any Wi-Fi, so we gave a couple people like the Wi-Fi to be able to talk. And it's just crazy, man. Like he's super smart. I don't know. I just think that's
Speaking
crazy.
of that, satellite.
Yeah.
So I told my sister we need to get one of those for this Canada trip that we're doing.
Starlink, yeah, but the thing is, you guys are going to be moving
279
around,
videos reflected on my interface.
We're going to be doing 17 miles.
Okay, so you have to stay. The dish has to stay in one place, so you probably have to re-signal it every time you move to a new place. And they're not.
We don't need to use it for any other reason other than
my willpower to resist weakened.
Like if someone gets badly injured, that would be the only reason.
By the way, you want to tell people what you're doing?
Yes, my dad and I are in like
Charlie is on one. Dude,
Okay, Nerd Squad, no delay. It is Monday, February 17th, 2025, 4:44 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The federal felons upstairs appear to have in some way affected the visibility of these live streams concurrent with all their other crimes and active attempts
so excited
repeatedly
because this trip that we've been doing, this tradition
over 100 times since the 11th to obstruct, tamper, intimidate, retaliate, and perpetrate acts of domestic terrorism.
The FBI said your backup plan to avoid breaking in and pretend like I walked outside when you're all going to prison for the crimes you committed against me for 2 years or a year and a half
attempts to actively
have failed
disable every
and further
camera
proven
and
your
recording
guilt.
device in my home, concurrent with that, even for offline recordings for their domestic terrorist organization,
family was like, we can't take
and their willingness to follow unlawful directives from the very people who they've been listening to, which is why some of them are going to prison for the rest of their
So we're
lives.
gonna.
So it is Monday. It is 4:45 a.m.
Walieg River.
It's February 17th.
And
And it is very likely no one is actually going to be able to watch this video or any of the preceding ones other than the very individuals going to prison.
I'm worried about it.
And then, of course, those that are going to be handcuffing you to bring you to that
He wants us to
federal penitentiary after your sentencing,
and then
after you've been given your indictment at your arraignment, and after you've been arrested, which unfortunately,
like 100 yards.
Y'all
So,
are
like,
gonna die.
you already know won't be
That's
until
what I'm
next
saying.
month.
I'm like, I don't even know why you think I could ever.
With those nails?
Now, that being said, if this live stream ends for any reason without me orally telling you the end time, I didn't end it. The domestic terrorist upstairs did, but more likely than not, they'll corrupt this file. They'll probably likely stop making it available for viewing in any way, shape, or form. You get an email from YouTube every time your live stream begins. That hasn't happened except for a very small handful of the videos they actively criminally terminated over and over again. And then hours and days later, getting retroactive emails from Google, which are clearly fraudulent, something that the North Everett Precinct telling everybody they're part of an operation which has never, not in 2 years, been a legitimate operation. It has instead been entirely
the power of the mind. No, no. Truly, it's whether you believe you can.
an aggravated criminal conspiracy.
That's it. It's like if I think I can,
And then
I can
later,
bring And I can do it.
A domestic terrorist organization.
17 miles, Brittany.
No, it's so many miles. I know. Listen,
Now-
it might be the last thing I do, but I can do
Their
it.
crime spree
Okay,
and
then
their
how many
desperation
people do you use?
hinge
Your sister,
primarily
your
on
husband,
the
and your dad.
the
My
next
sister, her
week
husband,
or
and one
so.
canoe, his best friend.
Well,
and
the next
probably
weeks
his
as far
son
as
and
they're
another canoe,
concerned.
and then me and my dad in a canoe.
I would let your dad do all the work. I'd be like, listen, this was your
And the
idea.
emails that I'm
I'm
getting
back
are
here.
emails telling me
I'll
that
do
3
the
days
little
ago a
clip.
live
I'll do a
stream
run
went
out.
The
up.
back is
I do a
It
run.
was now one. These are things that doesn't occur except for when this domestic terrorist organization is perpetrating acts of domestic terrorism.
I think it's going to be incredibly difficult.
That's the only time these things occur, which is all you've been doing, especially the dirty cunt upstairs that's been doing it since March 2023.
He just lives outdoors.
Oh yes, and abusing my sons, kidnapping, and everything else you've
So
done.
yeah, that's
These
my,
people
I
owe
guess
me billions of
that's
dollars at this point.
For Charles.
They're going to prison.
My dad's what
They have no job.
My word.
Since August, they've been committing
Charlie,
criminal
look at
acts
you.
that have all constituted as acts of domestic terrorism
Most unhinged
as recently as this very live stream.
Voicemail when because I was like, Dad, I have some legitimate real
Concerns.
Like,
yeah, safety
and he said,
concerns.
They're not
Like,
officers.
I always tell everyone, you're tough now. Show me. Hang on.
Oh my God.
These were never officers.
He's bullying you into it.
So I'll play a bit of a previous recording, which would be important if anybody could watch it that wasn't going to prison.
I put you on. I don't think you can hear. How do you hear that, Mike?
But since you're all going to prison for the rest of your lives and perpetrating domestic terrorism right now at 4:48 a.m. in the morning this Monday, February 17th, like the FBI has consistently said, you're actually all just requesting to go to prison. And unfortunately, I gave the FBI consent to allow you guys to be as awful as you wanted to be until like February 23rd.
Oh my gosh.
And then I inadvertently gave them consent earlier this month
Oh my God. My win of the week is that we're back in our house.
so that they now have
All
until
of our fish are
April.
okay, because like we had just gotten the fish. We had like almost 30 fish, like I said. But
That hasn't
it was
negated
crazy
the
'cause
fact
they,
they
like,
plan
told
on
us they
putting
were
all
gonna
of
be
your
okay. They,
asses
like,
in
we
jail
had
next
rescues out
month
there, put the
or
areas in, but then
substantially
back up.
sooner.
The water was like not good,
Yeah.
and they
Now, if it's next month, it'll be after the 10th, or again, based on your criminal conduct within your domestic terrorism organization, substantially sooner.
Put like supplements in because you can't have.
All right, good. Yesterday, one of many, one of thousands. I'm playing a preceding live stream, which you probably can't view because of the domestic terrorist organization upstairs relationship with who I was friends with before he was ever my lawyer. It'll go over all the things you need to know before you're all arraigned, indicted, and put in prison, which is where you absolutely deserve to create that
Did they give you frozen pineapple?
that was reported about God's working toward plan where all the remaining.
Oh no, that one's peanut butter.
were also recorded.
I bet
You
they
think the
have-
haggard woman you've been listening to, one of those named individuals, is going to save your asses and that you need to appease her and you're so wrong. Each and every one of you following her instructions and affecting the visibility of this recording and all of the activity since the 11th, all of them except for one individual. All you've been doing is perpetrating. You're all part of it.
Looking back over.
Part of the reason why the FBI has
We are back in our word of the week.
so that she can point the finger at you guys and say you did it, not her. I'm going to go over that.
I
Verified.
was pensive about sharing information about my nose, but I decided, fuck it, because we're all going to be dead one day.
I don't actually think that's the right.
Oh, she
use of
doesn't
it.
like that. She doesn't like me pointing it out. eh?
Pensive is more like, you know, when you can see someone that's they're not saying anything, but you can see them thinking.
Yeah, I know pensive means. I just try to use it in a relatable way.
She grew pensive, wondering if he had been thinking about her too.
Well,
He wasn't.
if that one,
he was.
if that one doesn't hit the nail on the fucking straight on the head, he was.
He wasn't.
I believe him.
Okay. Fine.
You're like, I don't.
I know.
Or at least one of us.
I
do.
don't.
have
I
to
just
say-
think Libras
There
are
was
full of
one at
shit.
2:19 p.m. It
Maybe
appears that
say
they
that. Guys, if
easily
you're
and
a Libra
criminally
or girls,
corrupted
if
Are
you
you
dated a
just
Libra,
the most full of shit that you've ever been?
let's ask worsties.
I'm right here.
The one
Are
that
you
they
Libra?
terminated 2 hours
You
and
want
23
everything?
minutes.
into it by shutting off the internet because they were impatient.
Do you
Yeah.
lie often?
Yeah. Impatient with their domestic terrorism. Remember, that adds a lot of evidentiary value. It's the only reason the FBI is allowing it. Oh, and they stopped the podcast on Spotify.
Huh?
Trying to cover their asses.
I don't care. if they lie.
Okay. So on this live stream, let's go over this again.
Mike, you're a really
I think
nice person.
See this right here?
I just think in general.
This is one of their fraudulent Google certificates that they've used to destroy thousands of dollars of devices during their domestic terrorism, as well as during their aggravated criminal conspiracy. See how it expires on April 21st, 2025. Based on their pattern of criminal conduct it'll be 2 years in March. This is indicative of when they plan on pulling off more felonies. January 27th, they acquired some new fraudulent orders, apparently.
Yeah, that when he was younger, for sure. But I think
They're going to prison
This is a perfect example
for the
of
rest of their lives.
We're like, Tommy, how much shit did you get away with back in the day? And he went,
That's the Lenovo ThinkPad. Also, just going to show you, they criminally and illegally somehow, after losing their patience and ending this live stream right here, 217, 1023.
Yeah, like I don't know.
New ad report. Note right here, 2 hours and 23 minutes and 57 seconds. They cut off my internet in their impatience, and then they corrupted the file. But this video has been recording offline for 3 hours and 47 minutes and 24 seconds. 26. It's now 2:21 p.m. PST, Monday, February 17th.
Libras tend to lie. Yes. That is
You're going to prison. You were never officers.
Yeah.
As far as the FBI, the sheriffs, and the marshals are concerned. And more than 8 sergeants in various departments
similar. It's really
within this county agree.
Anything?
Did you
The
Google?
three that are the biggest liars are Gemini, Libra,
Oh,
and I apparently need to allow ads to find out the rest. But
Gemini,
Libra's
I
number
believe
2 on the
that
list.
Gemini's
two-faced,
yeah.
double-sided.
Yep.
Who else?
But anyway, they do tend to lie more. But they're uncanny in how they are. Like, I knew when I went on that first date with this other guy, I was like, when he said he was a Libra, I was like, oh no, you're gonna be exactly like him, because they reminded me so much of each other. Libra lies so as to not harm other people. Libras are very loving people who cannot even imagine harm. No, this is not. I don't like this. Okay.
No, this isn't fitting my narrative. Yes, delete.
This doesn't work.
I can't.
And this also is like on a fucking slideshow, like a PowerPoint.
Actually, I kind of identified with this type of liar a little.
They also know how to lie.
Like Mike about my nose. I'm like, does my nose look bad? He's like, no, it looks great.
Yeah.
I'm screaming.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. You fucking liar.
Oh, that laugh. Oh, maniacal.
Lie,
Libras
Mike.
are liars. See, they also know how to lie about small things just so as not to upset and hurt others. The zodiac sign can't share negative opinions, so that I don't think that's
Okay,
true.
but Brittany, my husband does that. Because I'll have like, remember that picture I sent you of my hair last night, all crazy?
Well, I didn't see it because I was on the plane. It didn't.
Oh, put in this picture of my fucking hair that I let air dry. I have the most mental Italian hair. And I went into the living room and I said to my husband, does this hair look crazy? And he was like, no, I like it. It's fluffy. Look at this fucking picture, you guys.
Fluffy.
And then
so
I went to Dry Bar and fixed that shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, he would not tell me ever that I look bad.
So here's the thing with Libras is when you set the dynamic with them.
Check it out. You ready, little federal felons, for this? This is going to piss you off. But then maybe some of you will leave and you'll go and reflect.
Girl, what the fuck?
And I want you to reflect on the fact that there was only a couple of guys and absolutely a couple of women that were going to be going to prison for the rest of their lives. And then you all decided to follow what you knew were unlawful
I would
directions.
always have to reach out to him. And then remember, you're like, just don't.
And
reach out
now
to him
that's
for, like,
changed.
As long as it takes for him to reach out to you. And then he did, but it took him like
6 months.
No. That was like 10 days. I miss you.
Okay,
Like,
go
because
for it.
they
Go
get
for it.
used to
Go
you
for it.
reaching out, and then when you go away,
Maybe they're the kind of guys.
Okay, the FBI has instructed me to end this live stream and publish it, even though it's only run for an hour.
My husband did, but you said he's out.
So it is 2:24 p.m. PST. I'm ending this live stream, and a new one will be initiating in 90 seconds or less.
You definitely don't need a reply guy.
Yeah.
I think like